Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Wednesday, and today we're going to be doing uh, Portugal. We're doing a Portuguese wine, and Portugal is probably one of the best value countries you can get. Portugal and Spain, for prices. Right in there with, you also got to throw in Argentina and Chile. But uh, we're doing a 2018 Monte Velho. Okay. Now this wine is from Espinosa. Okay, and it's in the Alentejo region. Okay, which is it's one of they have 8 regions in Portugal. They're like a DOC, like you have in Italy. They have their 8 regions. It's the Alentejo region. Now, Espinosa vineyards have they started that in 1987. They do 194 different grapes on that property. Now the property is 1,100 acres. It's one of the biggest. They have 1,100 acres, and what they use 37 of those grapes currently. Okay, now they also make olive oils. They make they have a it's a very big facility. It's up to date. It's modern. It's clean. They built it in '87. Then they have like 3 different vineyards. One for white for different temperatures. One at red. They're built underground, so they don't use a lot of for temperatures. They can keep it moderate, steady. The cost of electricity, it's all at 55 or 60 degrees, wherever they want for the white or for the red. 12 feet underground, okay? They use mostly stainless steel vats, large vats. And then they'll use smaller vats if they're doing more compressing for different wines. And they'll age some wines. Some of their better wines, they'll do oak barrels. Almost all their oak barrels, they use 70% American and 30% French oak. Okay, now the winemaker there is David Burnstock, and he's David Bravestock, and he's an Australian, and he's been there from '87, and he's pretty influential in all of Portugal wines. He's like the Robert Mondavi of California. Okay, now this wine sells. You can buy this wine for $8 to $10. Okay, now it's 4 different grapes. Okay, now the grapes they use here, they use 40% Aragon. Okay, then they use Chicadira, which is 35%, and then they use Tourguet National, which is 20%, and then 5% Shiraz. Okay, now the Tourguet National is probably the grape that's the most influential in this bottle. Whenever you see a Tourguet National, that wine's going to give you structure. I know before I tell you, this is going to give you structure. It gives you depth. It's almost like the Verdot grape, Petit Verdot, how it's powerful. They only use 5%. Well, this isn't as powerful, but this grape gives you good structure, gives you dark color. It's very plays an important part in blending of wines. It's very important. It's one of the more. It's used in all good Portuguese wine. They use it in the ports too. In the good ports they use it. It's used in most good wines to a certain degree. Okay. Now, they have underground tunnels, as I mentioned. Throughout the thing, they have underground tunnels. That connect part of it. It's almost like a desert, flat land, arid, very rural. It'd be like almost like when you're driving through Napa, but you get to a really desolate area. It's desolate, very rural, not far from the oak forest. Their saving feature there is they have a very, very large lake, extremely large lake, and that gives them the wind, and it gives them the moisture and stuff, and they can irrigate, because water is very important there. Okay, and then this wine was made 2018. It was the summer came late, August, and it was kind of cold. And then they had 5 days of extreme heat. And the 5-day heat wave killed a lot of the grapes. But since they have so many different varietals of grapes, like this, they probably used 20% more on that grape than they did the other years. And they play with the 4 different grapes and sometimes only use 3, but they'll play with the different, composition of the wine. They used the different grapes, but they were able to save it. But they did lose a lot of grapes. And they'll lose the grapes. Instead of using them, they'll lose them. And like I say, he has 100. They handpick, and they have very loyal workers because they don't hire seasonal workers, okay, for harvest. They have 100 full-time employees. So it's a good job when you want to work there. People want to work there for them. They're treated well there. Very low turnover. The head wine guy's been there from day one, So you start from the top and you work your way down. That's how it stays good, okay? Now, the soil here is going to be clay and then also granite, okay? Just like a lot of that Portugal soil's like that, okay? But that can be good. And the roots on these are 40-year-old roots, so they can get down. If it gets arid, the vine gets deeper. And if you get a dry spell, you could be okay, okay? I'll taste this one. Now the fermentation on this, they only this 3 months. That's it. Well, that's a big dark red ruby, huh? Well, that was a Friday pour. I got it carried away there. You got cherries coming right at you here. Almost got like a coffee or a cocoa or got a good smell to it. It's a lot of berry. It's a medium to full, Put it at, if you went from 0 to 100, I'd put this around a 70 with as far as boldness. Pick up the acidity. Acidity goes right to the back of it's got good back pressure. It goes right to the back of the thing. Feel the acidity up top. It's a mild rolling acidity. It's clean. It's balanced. See, that's got to be the Tourgueil National grape. Because that's the one that gives you the structure, gives you roundness. It's a fresh grape. And you know what's good about this grape? This is a very versatile wine. You can have a nice steak with this. And it's so inexpensive. I mean, you can find this bottle maybe for $9, $8. I mean, it's, you can have it every day and twice on Sunday. But, I thought it'd be younger. It's got some youth to it, but it's not like, it's got enough structure. It's vibrant. It's a very nice, there's nothing unpleasant, there's no rush, it's not racy or, it's good. Next time you're in the store and you see, pick that up on the shelf, okay, 2018, $8. Now, you might not want to bring it to the party because they're going to know it's an $8 wine. You might have to save that for, the rosé we did last night. This I love a lot more. This is more my type of wine. But that rosé, summer in the bottle with the designer bottle, that's why that sells so good. Everybody buys it and brings it to a party. It's like, Santa Margarita. You don't bring cab, you bring Santa Margarita. But this is a fine. Okay? So you could have it with grilled chicken, you could have it with grilled meats, steak, burger, pasta, anything. This is a good one. Okay? Now listen, everybody have a great night, and let's keep praying, and let's stay a little isolated, See, California don't want to go out till August, but if we got to watch ourselves here. We stay isolated, be careful, wear the mask, keep you 6 feet apart. Let's not get those emergency rooms busy again, okay? They're busy, they were busy enough. So, listen, everybody have a great night, and we continue to thank and keep in our prayers and our hearts all those that was the heroes that are out there working and in those hospitals and nursing homes and everybody with support help. So God bless you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.